The biggest obstacle to learning is thinking you already know everything. Today, this story will teach you the most important lesson about wisdom. Once there was a young scholar who had studied for many years. He had read hundreds of books. He had debated the greatest minds of his time. He was intelligent, articulate, and deeply knowledgeable. Everyone in his town respected him greatly for his impressive learning and sharp mind. But the scholar was arrogant. He always interrupted others. He always finished their sentences. He always assumed he knew better than anyone. He heard about a great Zen Master who lived quietly in the mountains. People said this master possessed the deepest wisdom anyone had ever encountered. The scholar decided to visit the master, but secretly, he wanted to test him. He wanted to prove that his own knowledge was equal or greater. He climbed the mountain and arrived at the master's simple, peaceful tea house. The master greeted him warmly with a gentle and welcoming smile. They sat down together on the floor. The master prepared tea slowly and carefully. Every movement was deliberate, calm, and full of quiet intention. The scholar immediately began talking. He talked about philosophy. He talked about ancient texts. He listed everything he knew rapidly. He barely paused for breath. He wanted to impress the master with the enormous depth and breadth of his knowledge and learning. The master listened quietly without interrupting even once. Then he picked up the teapot and began pouring tea into the scholar's cup. He poured slowly. The tea filled the cup to the top, but the master did not stop pouring. Tea began overflowing onto the floor. The scholar watched with wide eyes. "Stop! Stop! The cup is already full. It cannot hold any more tea. You are making a mess." The master set down the teapot calmly. He looked at the scholar with wise, gentle eyes. He spoke just one quiet sentence. He said, "You are like this cup. You are already so full of your own knowledge and opinions that nothing new can possibly enter." The scholar sat in complete silence for the first time. Those simple words cut through all his arrogance like a sharp and clean blade. The master continued gently, "Before I can teach you anything at all, you must first empty your cup. Come to me with an empty cup and open mind." The scholar looked at the overflowing tea on the floor. He understood the metaphor completely and deeply for the first time in his life. He had spent years filling his cup with knowledge. But somewhere along the way, his cup had become too full, too rigid, too closed to anything new. His knowledge had become a prison. Instead of opening doors, it had started closing them. He was too full to receive anything truly new. He bowed his head humbly before the master. For the first time in years, he felt genuinely small. But, surprisingly, it did not feel bad at all. It felt like relief, like putting down a very heavy weight he had been carrying proudly for many exhausting years, without realizing it. He said quietly, "Master, I have come a long way. Please teach me. I am ready to empty my cup and listen without judgment today." The master smiled warmly. He poured fresh tea into the now empty cup. He said, "Now we can begin. An empty cup is always ready to receive." This is the powerful lesson of the empty cup. The more you think you know, the less you can actually learn from the world around you. True wisdom is not about how much you know. It is about how open you remain to always learning something completely new every single day. The wisest people in the world are always the most curious and humble. They never stop asking questions. They never assume they know everything. Pride closes the mind. Humility opens it wide. Arrogance fills the cup. Openness empties it and makes room for real and lasting growth. Every person you meet knows something you do not know. Every situation teaches something you have never encountered before in your life. Come to each new day with an empty cup. Come to each conversation ready to listen fully. Come to each experience ready to be changed by it. Empty your cup. Make room for wisdom. The teacher is everywhere if you are humble enough to recognize them and quiet enough to listen. You will never stop growing the day you admit you still have everything to learn. That is the beginning of true and endless wisdom.